Enolase. Again, we're going to take our 2-phosphoglycerate and we're going to make phosphoenolpyruvate. Okay, and we're going to do this by removing water. So in the reverse reaction, we'd be adding water. Okay, and this again is my Enolase, no abbreviation for Enolase. Why Enolase? We're going to make an enol. So we're going to make an enol phosphate. Why do we want to make that? That's a high energy phosphate. And all we're doing here is just a simple dehydration. Okay, so let's look at the structure here. Okay, so there is your 2-phosphoglycerate. And we're going to be making an enol phosphate. Really not much to say about enolase. Okay, and again, all we're doing here is doing a dehydration and going this direction. Obviously, and going in the reverse direction, we're doing a hydration across the double bond. Okay, so if we're going to do a dehydration, this is the proton that we need to remove. So very simply, I don't even have to redraw this. This is so simple. Okay, let me just, we'll redraw it, showing you the mechanism. That's the hydrogen that we're going to be pulling off. All right, so I drew it explicitly. I'm removing that proton. Electron pair comes in, OH goes off. I'm removing water. So it's just a simple dehydration. An elimination reaction, and you make now the enol phosphate. Low energy phosphoester. Okay. High energy enol phosphate. Just by simply doing a dehydration. Very clever. Okay. So now we're ready to do, one last note here. And this is an opportunity to talk about how mechanisms are elucidated. Enolase is inhibited by fluoride. Okay, so in the general scheme of things, if you've got a metabolic path, okay, and let's say that this is an irreversible path and these are reversible, okay, and you're going to your final product or some substrate there, okay, and you have, for different enzymes, enzyme A, enzyme B, enzyme C, okay, etc. And again, you're going to inhibit this particular enzyme. Let's say we're going to inhibit this enzyme. Okay, so enzyme D, I'm going to inhibit. All right, so inhibit. All right, and so what you see when you block an enzyme is the metabolites prior to that will build up. So if you were to inhibit that particular enzyme, you would see the concentrations of B, C, and D build up or accumulate. The concentration of A would not accumulate because that's an irreversible step. So if you inhibit this particular enzyme, you see a accumulation of the previous metabolites. So again, you see an accumulation of the metabolites. prior to the inhibition step. All right, so that's how a lot of these pathways are elucidated. You got an enzyme that is blocked or inhibited, and you see what builds up, and you again can elucidate the pathway. We can also use radioactive and NMR active labels, and we can follow labels through a metabolic pathway as well. So a side note here, if you want to kill somebody and you want to poison them by using sodium fluoride, you are actually inhibiting this enolase reaction. You're shutting down glycolysis. Person can die pretty quickly by sodium fluoride poisoning.